Hello again and welcome back to another one. And 5-0 finally crept up on Eminem today, and fans have been celebrating Eminem's birthday on social media by highlighting some career milestones for the rapper, and much more which we'll get to in a bit. We also had more from King Crooked linked to Eminem, Joe Budden's Slaughterhouse and the Glass House album, including an interesting exchange between Crook and a fan who blamed in quotes on creative Eminem for ruining Slaughterhouse, and this has sparked some interesting reactions. More on this in a bit. And here's an interesting story about Drake from a few hours ago. Spotify put the OVO logo on Barcelona's jersey to celebrate Drake being the first artist to cross 50 billion streams on the platform, and Drake matched this up with a huge bet of 833,000 Canadian dollars on Arsenal and Barcelona to win their games. Thanks to Barcelona, Drake lost the equivalent of over $600,000, but on the in quotes bright side, since Drake's reportedly worth $250 million, he lost the equivalent of 0.24% of his net worth, so relatively speaking, compared to the average 35-year-old or under in the United States, it's the equivalent of losing $183.
You see the score of the game? Alright, so...
Moving on, here's an interesting update for Eminem's Mockingbird that recently hit a milestone when it appeared on the global Spotify chart for the first time in 18 years, but it keeps rising. Check this out. Eminem's Mockingbird is the greatest gainer on the global Spotify chart today, up 59 spots to a new peak of 141 with 935,000 streams. It keeps getting rougher for the hip-hop media personalities who peddle the in quotes Mandela effect narrative of how Eminem's music aged badly, as to celebrate his 50th, fans are highlighting some interesting facts, like this for instance. Hashtag Eminem50, Eminem's most streamed songs on Spotify in 2022, and in the calendar year so far, Eminem got 9 songs that have earned well above 100 million streams on Spotify, a nice mix of old and new era Eminem, and as you can see, it will be over 12 songs by the end of the year to surpass that milestone. More from Eminem's 50th from fans. Since it's his birthday, here's some of Eminem's achievements. Best-selling artist of 21st century, best-selling hip-hop artist ever, 360 plus awards, 15 Grammys, 1 Oscar, 1 Emmy, 500 plus million records sold, multiple Guinness World Records broke, and Mr. C, who produced the Rap God remix on CC2, shared this. Words ain't enough to thank you and describe all your talents and virtues, not only as an artist but as a human being. Happy 50th lap around the sun to you, Mr. Marshall Mathers, the greatest to ever hold a mic. Hashtag Eminem50. Moving on, King Crooked and Joel were recently on the Matt Hoffa show, and they cleared a few things up on Eminem vs. Joe, Glass House and more. And for those wounded by the fact that we never got to listen to Glass House, well, Crook sprinkled some salt on the wounds when he revealed why Glass House didn't drop and what it could have been. One of the reasons is Joe wanted off the label. He didn't want to do it, so how you gonna drop an album on a label that you don't want to have anything to do with? You have to be there to promote the album. You gotta be there to, run around, do videos and visuals. If you don't want to be on a label, that album ain't coming out. I'm not saying he single-handedly stopped it. He continued on how expensive and stacked the album would have been. If it would have come out, yeah, it would have been pretty expensive. I mean, we had a slaughterhouse of producers. We had Just Blaze, we had Justice League, we had Cardiac, we had A-Rap, Illmind, we had Q-Tip, you know what I'm saying? And they clarified that it's not just someone being petty at Shady Records that stopped the album from dropping, which leads us back to Joe Budden. And speaking on Joe vs. Eminem, Crook explained why Eminem had legitimate reasons to diss Joe Budden. M never came out and attacked Joe without in his mind a reason. The only time he started mentioning Joe was after Joe said his ish was trash on his show. That was the only time he started mentioning Joe. And that particular song on Music to Be Murdered By album, me and his verse was 5 years old, and the way that song came about is when we were all in Detroit recording some other ish. Me and him just jumped on some ish, and M always liked it and ended up putting it on his album. Matt Hoffa had events mixed up as he thought Eminem first dissed Joe on Music to Be Murdered By because Joe trashed Kamikaze, but Crook cleared it up that it was Revival that Joe trashed that led to the diss on Kamikaze. If I recall, we got jabs thrown at Joe Budden on 4, the original Bang, and also a jab on Lock It Up when Eminem said, why would he give a F about backstabbing Trader Joe? And over on Twitter, an interesting exchange happened, as out of the blue in a discussion, a user addressed this to Crook. You're still mad about Slaughterhouse flopping. That's what happens when you let Eminem's uncreative bum curate your project. Shrugs emoji. To which Crook responds, it's almost like you tweeted this in 2013. It is funny how Eminem is always brought up abruptly in these discussions, and to this a user expands under, imagine saying Eminem and not creative in the same sentence, not just rap, all music ever. Dude beats everyone, it's so insane. No reasonable person would say something so goofy. The user adds, it's funny, Slaughterhouse sold 20,000 in 2009 and on the shady, Slaughterhouse sold 60,000 first week 2012. But over to you guys, share your thoughts below. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe if you enjoy content like this, and see you on the next one.